guys, this is your teacher Jofi and let's start our discussion for today.
Welcome to another time of learning. Our topic today is identifying dependent and independent variables. For our objectives, after going through this lesson, you are expected to, number 1, define dependent and independent variables, and number 2, identify the dependent and independent variables in a sentence or problem. Now, how do we differentiate a dependent from an independent variable? Now, before we answer this, let us recall the term bivariate, which we may have met prior to this lesson. Bivariate is used to describe data that always involve two variables. One of these is dependent variable, and the other one is the independent variable. Dependent variable depends on other variables or factors. It is something that is influenced and affected. It is always associated with the word effect or outcome. On the other hand, independent variable affects the dependent variable. It is something you have control over, one which you can choose and manipulate. However, in some cases, you may not be able to manipulate the independent variable. It is commonly known as the cause or the reason behind changes. The independent variable is denoted by X in our studies, and the dependent variable is denoted by Y. Let us look at this example. A researcher wants to determine the effects of the use of social media in the academic performance of students in mathematics. Let us determine the two variables that we're talking about in this statement. First, we have the use of social media and the academic performance of students in mathematics. Now, which one is the independent variable and which is the dependent? The question is, which one affects the other? So we can say that the use of social media affects the academic performance of students in mathematics. Therefore, we can say that the use of social media is the independent variable and academic performance of students in mathematics is the dependent variable. Hence, we can say that academic performance in mathematics depends on the use of social media. The independent variable X, in this case the use of social media, happens first, and the dependent variable Y, which in this case is the academic performance of students in mathematics, is the result. Here's another example. Identify the independent and the dependent variable. A research title, Math App or Application, particularly Math Tricks, for improving fundamental basic skills and retention of grade 11 students of Mapalad Integrated High School. Now, what are the two variables being talked about in this research title? Okay, we have the frequency of using Math App, which is Math Tricks, and the other one is improving fundamental basic skills and retention. Now, which of these two affects the other? Yes, you're correct. The frequency of using the application affects improving fundamental basic skills and retention. Thus, we say that the frequency of using Math App is the independent variable and the dependent variable is improving fundamental basic skills and retention. And therefore, we can say that improving fundamental basic skills and retention depends on the frequency of using math application. And here are more examples. Identify the independent and independent variable given a question. So the first one, what are the effects of Korean novellas on the Filipino value system? Okay, what do you think is the independent variable? That which is the cause. Okay, The Korean novella is the independent variable, and that which is affected is the dependent variable, in this case, the Filipino value system. Second question, are test scores affected by the number of hours of sleep the night before the test? So, what is the independent variable? Oh, in this case, what is the cause? Okay, we can say that the cause, that which happens first, is the number of hours of sleep the night before the test is the independent variable. And the effect or the result is the test scores, which is the dependent variable. Okay, the third question. Does the number of cigarettes a person smokes increase the chances of developing cancer? So in this case, which is the independent variable? Which is the cause? Okay, the number of cigarettes a person smokes is the independent variable. This is the cause. Okay, and then the dependent variable is the chance of developing a cancer. In this case, this is the effect. So, got it, guys? I hope you learned something today. I'd like to remind you this. Enjoy and endure, dear students. Later on, you will reap the fruit of your labor. God bless. This lesson video is based on the Department of Education Senior High School Module for Statistics and Probability, printed by the Department of Education Region 4A, Calabarzon.